It's the seventh game of the 1968 World Series. St. Louis Cardinals with 3 victories, the Detroit Tigers with 3 victories. And the winner this afternoon takes the World Championship. The weather is clear and very pleasant. The temperature about 60 degrees. There's almost no wind here in St. Louis. And we're going to see two-game winners pitted against each other this afternoon in game number 7. The fabulous Bob Gibson, who won 22 and lost 9 over the regular National League season, 2-0 in the series, and the left-hander of Detroit, Mickey Lolich, he won 17 and 9 in the American League season. He has 2 victories and no defeats in the World Series. Well, Mr. Reese, this is it, and we've got a very interesting situation here. The Tiger left-hander, Mickey Lolich, only 2 days rest. Do you think that maybe they'll check him as he warms up and see if somebody else might be ready right behind him?
Well, it could be, Ernie. Now, Mickey Lolich having only 2 days rest. I'm watching him throw in the bullpen. Hal Narragon works with Johnny Sain as a pitching coach, and I'm sure that when they come in, that Narragon will tell Mayo Smith how did Mickey Lolich throw while he was warming up. If he did not throw well, it wouldn't be too surprising to me, as soon as this game starts, that Johnny Sain, the pitching coach down in that bullpen for the Tigers, may have someone start warming up as this game starts. This has been done before. And a lot of times, Ernie, that the fellow will have his stuff in the bullpen down there and go on that mound and all of a sudden lose it.
That's right, and sometimes it'll work the opposite, too, won't it? That he won't have anything, and then he'll sort of get it as he goes along?
Well, I'm sure that this has happened quite a few times, and Lolich, if he doesn't have it down there, I'm sure he'll be looking for it on the mound that first inning. Of course, Bob Gibson, he always seems to have it, and he looks pretty sharp throwing in the bullpen down there now. And the pitching coach, Billy Muppet, is not letting anyone warm him up except himself. Not a catcher, Billy Muppet, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, warming up Bob Gibson.
Now we'll give you the starting lineups for the two teams. The Tigers are pretty much going with their regular starting lineup. The Cardinals have made a change or two, mainly because of the left-hand pitcher, Lolich, in there for Detroit. So here are the batting orders, beginning with the visiting team, the American League champion Detroit Tigers. The leadoff man will be Dick McAuliffe, the second baseman. That's McAuliffe at second base. Batting number 2 is Mickey Stanley. Stanley batting second and playing at shortstop. Al Kaline, so far the hero for the Tigers from a batting standpoint in the World Series, batting number 3, and he's stationed at right field. The cleanup hitter for Detroit, the first baseman, Norman Cash. That's Cash at first base, batting number 4. The fifth batter is a left fielder, Willie Horton. Horton in left. Then it's Jim Northrup, the center fielder. Northrup in center. He's followed by Tiger catcher and number 7 batter, Bill Freehand. Freehand, the catcher. Don Wirt, that's number 8, and he is at third base. It's Wirt at third. The number 9 batter and the Tiger pitcher is Mickey Lolich. Now on the public address here at Bush Memorial Stadium, the Tigers, led by manager Mayo Smith, are being introduced. Here's the St. Louis Cardinal lineup. The world champions will lead off with Lou Brock, their left fielder. That's Brock in left. Julian Javier, the number 2 batter, one of the leading hitters with a .391 average. He's been moved up to number 2. He's playing second base. The third hitter is Kurt Flood. Flood in center field. Then it's Orlando Cepeda batting cleanup and playing first base. The number 5 batter for the Cardinals, third baseman Mike Shannon. That's Shannon at third. Batting sixth and catching, Tim McCarver. McCarver catching. Roger Maris, despite the left-hand pitcher, is in there at right field. He's batting number 7. Maris in right. Dal Maxwell is the shortstop and the number 8 hitter. And on the mound, the big, hard-throwing right-hander, Bob Gibson. Gibson is batting number 9. Ernie Harwell and Pee Wee Reese, the 7th game of the World Series, 1968 in St. Louis. The ovation is for Bob Gibson, the great Cardinal pitcher, going to the mound now, ready to begin his duties here in this crucial game. The umpires for the 7th game, it'll be Tom Gorman of the National League behind the plate. Jim Honachik is at first base. He represents the American League. The National League representative, Stan Landis, is out behind second. At third base, Bill Kinnaman of the American League. And down the line, Doug Harvey is in left field. He represents the National League. And down the line in right, Bill Haller from the American League. Each of these two pitchers, Bob Gibson and Mickey Lolich, has won 2 games, each gunning for the third victory in the series. And if Gibson can do it, he'll be the first in World Series history to do it twice. Beautiful baseball day. It's very pleasant, almost no breeze at all. Bright, sunny afternoon in St. Louis. And Dick McAuliffe will lead off for Detroit. The Cardinals will have Shannon at third, Maxwell at short, Javier at second, Cepeda at first. In the outfield, it's Brock in left, Flood in center, Maris in right, McCarver the catcher, and Gibson now getting ready to go to work. The left hand batting McAuliffe. Stepping in, a .261 batting average for Richards. And here's a windup and the first pitch of the game. It's a strike on the outside corner. Well, there's Gibson's pattern right there, Pee-wee. Go to the outside corner.
Yes, he has. That is it, and he can do this with the best of them.
Here's a windup and the pitch to McAuliffe. Hung on and missed. Strike 2. McAuliffe has 1 home run in the series. He's knocked in 3 runs. The outfield is deep to right. The strike 2 delivered to McAuliffe. High, fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bob Gibson ready to go. The windup, the pitch to McAuliffe. It's outside. The count is 2-2. Batter in the ball game. McAuliffe waiting on a 2-2 delivery from Gibson. He stops in the middle of his motion. Time called by Tom Gorman to the home plate. McAuliffe trying to dig himself in there. Leans in to wait on the 2-2 delivery. Here it comes. He takes the ball low. 3-2. McAuliffe has taken Gibson to the full count here in the leadoff spot. Gibson ready, winds, kicks, delivers. Here's a fly ball. Hit off of first base, a foul. Cepeda near the seat. Might have a chance. He's right there, reaches in, makes the catch. Well, he didn't have much room, Pee-wee.
No, he did. In fact, he caught that ball in those temporary seats down out in front of, right up in front of first base. He reached in about 2 feet and caught it.
Here's Mickey Stanley, the Detroit shortstop. Young man from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Under tremendous pressure in this series, moving to a new position where he's played very well. He's batting .208. Right-hand batter swings and misses on a fastball. Header high. 1 strike on Stanley. Center field of Flood a little bit to right center on Mickey Stanley. No score, first inning. Here's a line drive to Gibson for the out. Has quick reflexes, Mr. Reese.
Well, he's a great athlete, Ernie. And you'll notice today, if there's anyone, you'll very seldom ever see anyone bunt on him. Of course, Detroit is not a bunting ball club, but he feels that position just like an infielder. That ball was hit just like a shot. He just reached out and picked it off like a cherry.
Here's Al Kaline, batting .440 in the series, and he takes the ball in close. Each of these gentlemen has great respect for the other one. Gibson the pitcher, Kaline the batter. No score, first inning. 2 out, nobody on. Now the windup by Bob Gibson. The pitch is swung on and hit high and foul off a third. It may be out of play. Yep, it will be. Shannon comes over, but it's in the seats. Kaline has 8 RBIs and 2 home runs. His 11 hits leads the Tiger team. Waits now on a 1-1 delivery from Gibson. It's low, ball 2. 2-1. outfield is almost straight away. The infield is deep. Javier pulled to his right at a deep second base, over a little bit nearer the bag. The windup by Gibson, the 2-1 delivery. Ball outside. Fastball low and away. We're just underway in St. Louis. Game number 7. It's the first inning. The Tigers have sent 2 men up. Gibson has retired the 2. 2 down, nobody on. The K-line has worked Gibson to a 3-1 count. And the Cardinal right-hander rocks and pitches. Swing and a foul out of play on the first base side. Norman Cash at the on-deck circle for Detroit. Gibson looks him over, ready to go to work again. The full count pitch to K-line. Struck him out. Curveball. Side retired, 1, 2, 3. And at the end of a half inning, Detroit nothing, the Cardinals coming to bat. Well, Mr. Reese, so far Mr. Gibson looking very sharp in that opening inning.
Well, I would think so, and there's one thing about Bob Gibson. Anything he starts, at least he did in 1968, he finishes. He pitched 28 complete games in 34 starts and was not knocked out one time. Pretty tough, I would say.
You're not kidding. Well, now we look at the Tiger left-hander Mickey Lolich, who, like Gibson, is seeking his 3rd series win in the 1968 World Series, and he'll be facing the very fine leadoff man Lou Brock. Brock has 12 hits. His batting average is .480. What a great series he's had. He's tied his own stolen base record of this series with 7. Now leans in, left-hander batter, facing the Tiger left-hander Mickey Lolich. No score. We're just starting the last half of the first inning in St. Louis. He takes a curve outside. Ball 1. Wirt is laying in close at 3rd. Stanley is at shortstop. McCall up at 2nd. Cash at 1st. The Detroit outfield, Horton in left, Northrop in center, K-line in right. The catcher is Freehand, the pitcher Lolich. Mickey getting his sign from Bill Freehand, ready to go to work again. The 1-0 pitch to leadoff man Brock, swung on and beaten foul off the plate and over toward the Cardinal bench. 1-1 the count on him. Lolich, with only 2 days rest, going to the mound for the Tigers. Sometimes when he's fairly tired that his fastball will sink a little bit more for him. Left-hander ready to go to work. Now the windup and the pitch. Brock swings a bounding ball to 2nd. Big hop from McAuliffe. Go to Cash. He's out. 1 up and 1 away. Julian Javier, the batter now. He's had a fine series with the bat. A .391 average. That has knocked in 3 runs. Tom Gorman of the National League umpiring behind the bat. Honachik, Landis, Kinnaman on the bases. Doug Harvey down the left field line. Bill Haller down the right field line. This game is scoreless in St. Louis. It's the last half of the first inning. Ready to go to work on the right-hand batting Javier. He swings. There's a fly ball to center. Northrop is there, puts it away for the out. 2 down and nobody on. And here is Kurt Flood, who has been batting number 2 in Red Changing's batting order, moved to the number 3 spot. Flood's average is .250. Delivers. Here's a ball in close. He checked his swing. Flood, one-time Cincinnati player, 11 years with the Cardinals. Leaning and waiting now. 2 out, nobody on, no score. Here's a cut and a miss. 1-1. Most of the Cards, he's appearing in his 3rd World Series. Most of the Tigers have no World Series experience. Flood takes a slow one that breaks in close. 2-1, the count on him. Cepeda waiting on deck for the Cards. The game scoreless. Neither team has seen a runner yet. Now the motion by the left-hander Lolich. The pitch on the way. Taken for a ball in close. He started to go and held off. Lolich first joined the Detroit club in '63, coming up from Syracuse. The regular starter since then. Here's the windup. The pitch. Swung on. Drive into right center. May drop in. It does. Fielded on one hop by Kaline, and there is the first hit and the first runner of the game. Flood drops a single into right center, and the Cardinals have a man on.
Well, we can kind of take a look, see what Red Shane is going to do here. They have been a running ball club all year. Of course, Flood is not the base fielder that Brock is, but he does have 2 stolen bases in this series. Let's see if they're going to run.
The batter is Cepeda with a .280 batting mark of the series. Cash will hold on the bag over there with Flood. The outfield will play deep and around the left a little bit. The infield back. Orlando Cepeda, right-handed batting first baseman. Flood edging off at first base. Doesn't go. The pitch is swung on and beaten foul on a high hop down past the third base coach, Joe Schultz. Dick Sisler is the first base coach for the Cardinals. There are 2 out and 1 on. The game scoreless in the first inning. After Lolich retired to Brock and Javier. Flood single to right center. The Tigers in their first half of the first went down 1-2-3 before the slants of Gibson. Now the set by the left-hander Lolich to look to first base. Flood draws a throw and gets back. He edges off again, trying to test his lead. And Cepeda steps away from the plate. Now Orlando back in to face Lolich. The pitch is a ball low, fastball, 1-1. Shannon will be the next Cardinal batter. We've got a scoreless tie in the first inning at Busch Memorial Stadium. Flood edging off again. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a high, hard one. One ball, 2 strikes. That was the hardest that Lolich has thrown so far. The pitch might have been out of the strike zone.
With a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cepeda, this may be a good spot for Flood to run right here.
He's edging off, and the pitch fouled away. So the count is still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wirt backing up and playing much deeper at third base now. Score first inning. The Cardinals have a man on and 2 out. Flood so far not edging off at first base. Cepeda waiting at the plate on Lolich. Flood moves off a little bit. Doesn't go. The pitch is swung on a drive foul to deep left field. Hit the ball very hard, but he pulled it down the line in the corner. Ball, 2 strikes on Orlando Cepeda. Mickey Lolich tugging his cap out there now. Still ahead of the other. And he sets himself to keep an eye on the runner at first base, Curt Flood. Now the set by Mickey. The look over to first base. Flood edges off again. Doesn't go. The pitch he swung on is a long foul fly to the other field to right. We got a new supply of baseballs for Mr. Gorman. Cepeda testing all directions here. Cepeda has 2 home runs in this series and 6 RBIs. Nobody on either team has more than 2 homers. So the Cardinal fans here in their ballpark beginning their rhythmic applause. Flood edges off. The pitch is a curve low. 2-2. That's the count. 2 out. Man on first. No score. First inning. Ideal weather conditions in St. Louis today. Cepeda stands very deep in the batter's box, waiting on a 2-2 delivery. There goes Flood. The pitch is taken. The throw by Freehand to second. Not in time. Stolen base. Flood gets his 3rd steal in 3 attempts, and he made it rather easily. McAuliffe came over to cover. The throw was slightly high, but Flood was in there easily anyhow. The Cardinals have a man in scoring position in the first inning with 2 outs. Flood at second base, single in the stolen base. The count is 3-2 on Orlando Cepeda. Here's the stretch by Lolich. And the pitch. It's a ball low. 2 men out for the Cardinals after the walk. And Mike Shannon, who's been dangerous with a stick, especially in clutch situations, steps up.
Ernie, it looks just a little bit like I was watching Lolich on his move to first base against Flood. And the first time that Flood decided he wanted to go, he took off. I don't believe Mickey has a real good move to first base, does he?
No, he doesn't, really. Just the fact that he's looking over there and he's left-handed is about the most help he's got.
Well, I've seen him in 2 games now. This is the 3rd game, and I've never seen him make a real good move to first base.
Here's Shannon now, the right-hand batting third baseman waiting, and he takes a ball in close. A little bit on the low side, too. 2 on, 2 out, no score. First inning, the Cardinals are threatening. Mike Shannon, a .280 batter for the series. Flood at second, Cepeda at first base, both fair-sized leads. The pitch, Shannon swings and misses like a breaking ball down around the knees. Down the lines here, it's 330 from home plate to the corners. Straightaway center field, 414 feet. Up the power alleys and left and right center, 386. 1-1, that's the count on Shannon. No score first inning. 2 on, 2 out for the Cardinals. Here's the set by Lolich. The left-hander checks his runners. Now delivers. And Shannon swings. There's a drive to right field. K-line going over is there. He makes the catch to the side, retired. And at the end of 1 inning, the Cardinals nothing, Detroit nothing.
A beautiful day here in St. Louis. Couldn't have a nicer day for a ball game. Bob Gibson against Mickey Lolich both have 2 wins. In the first inning, the Tigers went down in order. McAuliffe, Stanley, and K-line. Lolich had a little trouble getting the Cardinals out. After Brock and Javier went out, Flood singled, Cepeda walked, then Shannon hit a line drive into right field. We're ready to go in the top half of the second inning. The first hitter, Norm Cash, tell you all about it, Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Pee Wee. Cash batting .409 for the series. He has 9 hits. Gibson ready to go. The right-hander delivers. It's a ball outside to Norm Cash. Gibson, the only pitcher in series history who has won the deciding 7th game in 2 different series, in 64 and 67. There's a foul ball back at third, out of play. 1-1, that's the count on Cash. The history of Norman Cash throughout most of his Tiger seasons has been that he's hit very badly in the opening half and very well in the second half. There's a foul back of the plate, in toward the press box area and down below it. 1-2, the count on Cash. Cash has 1 home run in this series. Gibson, who has won 7 series games in a row, goes into action again. The 1-2 pitch. Swing, there's a fly ball to right center, not very deep. Maris and Flood converging on it. Maris is there. It's in his glove for the out. So the first 4 Tigers have gone down in order. They've not hit a ball on the ground yet. Here's Willie Horton, who has a .263 series batting record. Horton has a home run. He hit it here in St. Louis. Gibson delivers, and he backs him up with a fastball. The Tigers have not had a runner yet. The game is scoreless. Inning number 2 in St. Louis. 7th game of the World Series. Now the windup by Gibson. The pitch, fastball, fouled out of play. 1-1, that's the count on Horton. The base is empty. Here's the windup. The pitch to Willie Horton. Strike called on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Cardinals have been involved in 6 previous 7-game series and won all 6. The pitch. It's a ball. He tried for the far corner and didn't get it. Infield deep on Horton, the outfield also back. 1 out of the base is empty. Gibson ready to go to action. The windup, the pitch. Swing and a foul. Over the screen and out of play. Right down below us, behind the plate. 2-2 on Willie Horton. Gibson, as a youngster, almost died of pneumonia. Had rheumatic fever, asthma, and a real tough time. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off right down below it. No score, 2nd inning. The Tigers at bat. They've got the bases empty and there's 1 away. And Gibson ready to go to work again. Horton waiting at the plate. The 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Swinging on a curve. He tried to hold up. The pitch was in a little bit, and he fanned. That's the 2nd strikeout for Gibson.
Ernie, I'm sure that Gibson did not want to throw that pitch there, but he got away with it. Tim McCarver had moved outside. He looked like he wanted that curveball, the slider, to break outside. He got it inside, just got the inside corner, and Horton is so close to that plate, it fouled him up.
Here's Northrop batting now, and he takes a high one for a ball. Jim Northrop hitting .208. He featured the 10-run inning here yesterday with a grand slam home run. He has 2 homers for the series. Left-hand batter takes a high one, 2-0 to count on Northrop. Gibson has set down the first 5 Tigers. 2 of them on strikes. 1 fly ball, 1 line drive to Gibson himself, and a foul to Cepeda for the other one. No ground balls yet. Northrop looks at a strike. Above the knees, inside corner. The wind-up, the pitch. Foul, out of play. 2-2, the count on Northrop. Score, 2nd inning, Detroit at bat. They've got the bases empty and 2 down. Bob Gibson, gunning for his 3rd series victory, winds and pitches, and it's a check swing for a ball, 3-2. That was a breaking pitch in close. Northrop started and held off. Deep to right on Northrop, the infield back. Now the full count pitch. He swings and strikes out. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's Detroit nothing, St. Louis nothing.
1.5 the 2nd inning. Pee-wee Reese along with Ernie Harwell. And Gibson has looked sharp in his 2 innings. He has struck out 3. There's nothing without a base runner. We're going to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Mickey always had a little bit of trouble in the first inning after getting 2 men out. Flood got a base hit. Cepeda walked, and Shanahan hit a ball hard out in the right field. Let's see what he's going to do this inning. Tim McCarver, Roger Maris, and Dal Maxwell. Ernie Harwell.
Well, McCarver batting .333, and incidentally, those 3 strikeouts by Gibson, all on 3-2 pitches and all on breaking balls. No score. We're in the second inning. Tim McCarver. Memphis, Tennessee, facing Mickey Lolich. Here's a foul ball hit on the ground, out of play, over toward the first base side. Mickey Lolich, native of Portland, Oregon, Croatian descent. One-time clubhouse boy out there in the Portland clubhouse. Strike one pitch to McCarver. He ducks away from a high hard one. 1-1 the count on 10. McCarver has 2 triples in this series and 1 home run. He's knocked in 4 runs. Sun's not quite as bright as it was when the game started. Sort of a haze hanging over this beautiful ballpark now. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball. About leather high and in close. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Third World Series for McCarver. Leading off for the St. Louis Cardinals here in the scoreless tie in the second. Here's the motion, the pitch by Lolich. Fouled out of play. Back of the screen. 1-2 the count. Well, one of those lower deck outfielders made a good catch of that one, I guess. Second man from Clayton, Missouri. Checking his sign, ready to go again now. Nobody on, nobody out. No score. Here's the pitch. McCarver takes the ball. High, 2-2.
Clayton, Missouri.
Yes, sir. That's right near here. Lolich versus McCarver in this situation. Here's the windup by Mickey, and the pitch on the way. Popped foul, it'll be out of play. That one back of the plate in the lower deck. Well, the Tigers have won the last 2 games to make a real World Series out of this one. Until the Monday game. They came from behind to win that one and then won the game yesterday. With their power hitting, tie the series. Here's a 2-2 pitch. It's a ball low, a tempting one, but McCarver held off. Full count.
McCarver is supposed to hit left-handers about as well as he hits right-handers. He hits them off the left field quite a bit. As we notice, Willie Horton is playing him a little bit toward that left field end, almost like a right-handed pull hitter.
Well, let's see what Lolich gives him now on the full count delivery. No score. We're in the second inning. Here's the pitch. Walked in. High and away with a fastball. That is the second walk-off Lolich. We'll have a conference on the mound. Freehan and Lolich talking over the situation, and here is Roger Maris. Roger told Pee Wee Reese in his pregame interview that he'd been with 3 winners and 3 losers in World Series competition. And this is the rubber World Series and his final appearance in a baseball uniform right here today. Left-hander against the left-hander. Man on first, McCarver. There's no score. The Cardinals are batting in the second. Word is about even with the bag at third base. Stanley McAuliffe up a step or so around second. There's a ball outside. Maris told Pee Wee that he so far had not too much success against Lolich. Didn't he, Pee Wee, in his regular season career in the American League?
Well, that's right. And he also said that this was the first time that he has hit against a left-hander all year and not even in batting practice, and did not have too much luck against Lolich.
He swings and fouls it off on the screen. Morton is pulled in a little close in left field. Center fielder Northrop is slightly over to right.
Talking about Roger Maris retiring after today's game, so will another great ball player by the name of Eddie Matthews of the Tigers. This is his last game.
And Eddie's been a big help to the Tigers this year. He's a fellow that they all look up to. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming up. Maris pops it up. Foul ball between home and first near the Cardinal dugout. Might be out of play. Cash comes over. He can't get it. On the roof of the dugout. Well, Norman went into that dugout, but the ball was unavailable. It hit the roof.
We lost Cash, sir. He went right into the Cardinal dugout.
No score. We're in the second inning. The Cardinals at bat. They've got a man on, McCarver at first base. Nobody out of the count, ball one, 2 strikes on Roger Maris. McCarver getting a little bit of a lead, not much though, with their first base. Cash is holding on the bag with him. Maris waits. The pitch swung on as a bounding ball to Stanley. Touches second on the short hop. Throws to first base. It's a double play. Apparently, McCarver thought that Stanley had caught the ball in the air. He went back to first base, but the play went Stanley unassisted at second for the force out of McCarver, and then he fired over to first baseman Cash to get Roger Maris for the double play.
Ernie, this Mickey Stanley keeps making good plays. He's done a wonderful job at shortstop. I understand that Mr. Mayo Smith does not intend to play him as shortstop next year. Put him back out in center field.
He's looked mighty good there.
He may make Mayo change his mind.
Here's Dal Maxwell now, looking for his first World Series hit. He's 0 for 20. No score, second inning. There are 2 out and nobody on. There's a bounding ball hit toward short, cut off by third baseman Wirt. Throw to Cash, he's out. Side retired, and at the end of 2, the Cardinals nothing, the Tigers nothing. Leading off for Detroit in the third, and he takes the ball wide. A curveball low and away from right-hander Bob Gibson. Freehan has 1 hit. He picked it up yesterday. 1 for 20 in the World Series competition. The game is scoreless. Third inning, Detroit at bat. Strike on the outside corner. Curve caught that corner for Gibson. The count is even. 1-1 on Freehan. Gibson is fanned at 3, struck out the last 2 men he's faced. There's a drive to center field. Flood is there waiting, makes the catch for the out. The ball hit rather well, but right to the glove of the center fielder Flood. The Tigers do not have a hit yet. They have not yet hit a ball on the ground off Gibson. Here is Don Wirt, the third baseman, with an average of 0.71. He has 1 hit in 14 trips. Tigers have had very little firepower in their bottom 3 men in the batting order. Freehan and Wirt have 2 hits between them for the whole series. And then you get to the pitcher. There's a strike call. Gibson fed Wirt a fastball to start him off. The game is scoreless in the third in St. Louis. Now Bob Gibson kicks and deals. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Wirt started to go, held off. It got to the strike zone anyhow. The Cardinal right-hander looks for his sign. The strike 2 pitch to Wirt. Struck him out. The 4th strikeout for Gibson. The Tiger batter will be the pitcher, Mickey Lolich. The first 8 Detroiters have gone down in a row. Lolich hit a home run in this ballpark. In the second game of the World Series, the only home run he's ever hit in his professional career. He takes a strike from Gibson. Lolich has 3 hits and 8 turns at bat in the series. Gibson winds, delivers. It's a cut and a miss on a fastball. Jimmy just blazing it by.
Somebody asked Mick, he said, you've been hitting pretty good in this series besides pitching, and Mickey said, well, I may have luck against Gibson. With his control, he may hit my bat. But he didn't.
No, sir. Struck him out, Pee-wee, and that retires the side. 5 strikeouts for Gibson, and at the end of 2 1/2 innings, it is Cardinals nothing, Detroit nothing. Well, Bob Gibson Gibson has 32 strikeouts now for the series, breaking his own record of 31, set in 64. And the great ovation was for Gibson himself as he steps to the plate to face Mickey Lolich. And he takes the ball in close. Mickey curved him. Lolich has allowed one hit and walked two. The game is scoreless in the third in St. Louis. A ball low to the pitcher Gibson, 2-0. Gibson with one hit, a home run in 5-6. Now the motion and the pitch. Strike, inside corner fastball, 2-1. Gibson, a right-hand batter. Waiting now on the left-hander Lolich, his next delivery. The pitch. Swing and a foul back at the plate, 2-2. So far, neither team able to break through the scoreless barrier. No score, third inning. On the windup, the 2-2 pitch to Gibson. Kappa hit toward short, cut off by third baseman Wirt. Throw to Cash, he got him. And there's one up and one away for the Cardinals in their third. Here comes leadoff man Lou Brock. Brock with 12 hits for the series. First time up, he bounced out to second baseman McCullough. Detroit has no runs, no hits, no errors. St. Louis, no runs, one hit, and no errors. The battle has moved into the last half, the third. Here's the windup and the pitch. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Brock batting .480. No one has ever hit higher than 500 in the World Series that has lasted more than 4 games. Bounding ball hit to second base. To the glove side goes McCullough. Throws him out over to Cash, and there are 2 down in the St. Louis third. Well, these two teams are quite a contrast the way they've gone out so far. The Cardinals have hit the ball on the ground most of the time, and the Tigers have not hit a ground ball yet. Now Gibson. Here is Julian Javier, who hit a fly ball on the first pitch to him in the first inning. He flied to Northrop, the Tigers center fielder. The game is scoreless. The Cards at bat with 2 out, nobody on. It's the last half of the third inning. Javier batting number 2 in the Red Chain-Dean's batting order. Swings at the tapper on a big hop to Wirt. The throw to Cash. It's an easy third out, and the side retired 1, 2, 3. At the end of 3, Detroit nothing, St. Louis nothing. 3 innings of game number 7 in the World Series. Neither team able to score. The Cardinals have the game's only hit, a single by Flood with 2 out of the first inning. Now Dick McCullough will lead off for the Tigers in the fourth against Gibson, and our pleasure to tune in on Pee Wee Reese.
Thank you, Ernie. It's been all Bob Gibson so far. Mickey Lolich had a little trouble in the first inning, but he has settled down. Well, I will never to see a score in this ball game the way these two fellows look right now. Dick McCullough leading things off the Tigers. Bob Gibson, the kick, has the ball hit pretty hard out in the right field. Roger Maris should have no trouble with it. Back underneath it and takes it for out number 1. So Gibson, in 3 1/3 innings, he has struck out 5. There has not been a ball hit on the ground. Maris has had 2 fly balls out in right field. Kurt Flood, 1 in center field, and Zepeda 1 at first base. Mickey Stanley backs away from the pitch. The fastball in there. Ball strike 1. I think that Gibson never does use the middle part of his plate. He just uses the inside 3 inches and the outside 3 inches. What control? Ball foul straight back, strike 2 on him. Tigers, no runs on no hits. no errors. The Cardinals, no runs on 1 hit and no errors. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. It's 1 away, Mickey Stanley. Hit a line drive his first time up right back at Bob Gibson. Fastball, high and outside, ball 1. Gibson trying to get him to go for that high outside pitch with 2 strikes on him. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Stanley. The 7th and deciding game of the '68 World Series. Gibson against Lolich. Curveball on the ground out to Maxwell. Shortstop. You have to hurry. He can't. Has no chance.
Well, Maxwell made a good stop on that play. He got deep on it, and then he came up ready to throw, and he couldn't let the ball go. I think Stanley would have beaten it anyway, and Maxwell saved a possible overthrow had he let the ball go. So it will be scored as a single, the first hit off Gibson.
So the Tigers have their first base runner. Al Kaline is the hitter. The first pitch to him is a fastball just missed, a little outside. Gibson wanted that one. Kaline checking with Tony Cuccinello at third, his coach. At first base is Wally Moses. Kaline can handle the bat, and Mickey Stanley at first can run. He led the Tigers in stolen bases. A swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. And again, Kaline checks with Cuccinello. He gives the signs down at third to the belt, to the cap. Backs up in that coach's box. They're playing Kaline straight away. Stanley with a short lead at first base. Gibson has a good move over there. Fastball. Little outside. Ball 2.
Kaline's the kind of hitter who, against Gibson, he might just try to go to right.
The only trouble with having a hit and run with a fellow like Gibson, you miss too many pitches.
That's right.
2 balls, 1 strike. Gibson looks over at Stanley. Curveball into the dirt. A slider. Got McCarver on the hand. It was a foul tip. That's what McCarver's doing, shaking his hand. Count is 2-2. Looked like that ball was low into the dirt. 1 away, 2-2 on Al Kaline. Stanley at first base. Gibson set. Looks over at Stanley. Takes a little time. Here's the pitch. The lazy looper. Cepeda at first base going over near the stands. Can he get to it? Not this one. And the count remains 2-2. And the Tigers trying to come back to win this 7th game here. Winning this 7th game after trailing 3 games to 1. Would be the first team to do that since the 1958 series. The Yankees did it against the Braves. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Al Kaline. 1 away. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. No score in this ball game. That ball caught him looking. Well, there you can see the type of pitcher Gibson is. Curveball, slider to Al Kaline. And then he came with that real good fastball just on the outside corner, and Al did not even make an offer at it. So that's the 6th strikeout for Bob Gibson. Brings up Norm Cash. Stanley still on at first. Cepeda holding him close. Javier back out on the grass at second base. Gibson, the kick. There's the ball hit hard, but it's foul. And Cash, who has tremendous power, he got out in front of that one. Hit it way in the upper deck down that right field line, but it was foul by quite a few feet. 1 strike on him. Carver giving him the sign. Gibson steps. Here's the kick and the pitch, and he swings and misses. Strike 2. Gibson in the first game struck out 17 men. Just had a record. He has nothing but records. On at first base, Mickey Stanley. 2 strikes on Norm Cash. It's 2 away. Gibson takes a little bit more time than usual. Cash backs out of there. Tom Gorman, the umpire, behind home plate. He's from the National League. 2 strikes on Norm Cash. Here is the pitch. Way outside. Ball 1. I told you, Stanley at first base. Good base runner. strikes on Norm Cash. Here's the pitch. Curveball high and outside, makes the count 2-2. Each club has one hit. One by Stanley of the Tigers and one by Flood of the Cardinals. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A ground ball out to the shortstop, but Shannon cuts over in front of him and takes it and over to Cepeda, and that's all for Norm Cash. And that's all for the Tigers in the top half of the fourth inning. So after 3.5 innings of play, Detroit nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
The Cardinals coming to bat in the fourth inning. The game is scoreless. Each team no runs and one hit. The Cardinals had a threat going in the opening inning on a 2-out single by Flood. Stole second. Cepeda walked. They couldn't score. Walked to McCarver, led off the second. He was erased in the double play. The Tigers have only one hit and one run as Stanley a single in the fourth. Now back to Pee Wee.
Okay, Ernie. Kurt Flood leading things off the Cardinals here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Mickey Lolich. First pitch is outside. Ball one. Kurt Flood got a base hit. In the first inning with 2 men out, he stole second. Then Cepeda walked, but they got Shannon out on a line drive out to right field. That ball a little bit too high, ball two. Today's attendance, 54,692. A beautiful day for a ball game here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The seventh and final game of the World Series. There's a ball hit out from the right field. That ball is foul. Flood went to the opposite field with kind of 2 balls and no strikes on him, just missing down that right field line. Let's give the umpires. Behind home plate, Tom Gomer of the National League, Honachek to the American League at first base, Landis to the National League at second base, Kinnaman, the American League at third base. Down that left field line, Harvey of the National League, the right field line, Haller of the American League down the right field line. 2 balls, 1 strike on Kurt Flood. Ball hit hard. Stanley on a short hop. He'll have to hurry. He got him.
Well, that play showed Stanley's quick reflexes and the way he's been able to adapt himself at shortstop. He got the ball on a short hop but couldn't hold it, bobbled it momentarily, and recovered it even in time to get the complete Flood.
You think Mayo may play him at shortstop?
I think he's got to.
Was a short hop. He fumbled the ball, but right out in front of him, and he grabbed on it, and the good arm that he has, Flood can go, but he threw him out. Cepeda's a hitter. Ball hit hard, but it's going to foul down the right field line. It's 1 out. We're in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Schedule information. The first series winner each got $1,182. There's a ground ball out to Don Ward. He knocks the ball down. He'll have to hurry to get Cepeda over to Norm Cash, and he got him. Well, there's 2 plays. One for the shortstop, Stanley. Fumbled the ball, threw out Flood. Don Ward juggled the ball, picked it up, and threw out Cepeda. Both of those balls were hit hard.
Quick recoveries by both of those fellas.
Talking about that first series winners getting $1,182, and the loser's share was $200. What a difference, Ernie.
Yes, sir.
Mike Shannon takes the first pitch. It's in there. Curveball, strike 1. Quickly, Lolich gets 2 down here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 1 strike on Shannon. And that pitch is foul back. Strike 2. Like this Lolich just settled it down to do a little pitching. After the first inning, he has faced 3, 6, 8 men. That is all. Struck him out on a high fastball. So that's all for Shannon. That's all for the Cardinals here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. So after 4 full innings, the Tigers nothing, the Cardinals nothing.
Ernie Harwell along with Pee Wee Reed. Busch Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. The 7th game of the World Series scoreless. Each team, no runs, 1 hit. no errors as Gibson and Lolich developing into a great pitching duel here in St. Louis. Kurt Flood has the St. Louis hit a single with 2 out of the first inning. Mickey Stanley had a single with 1 out in the fourth for the Tigers only in. Willie Horton, the batter, the announcer, Pee Wee Reese.
Thank you, Ernie. Yes, sir. What a pitcher's duel between Bob Gibson and Mickey Lolich. Willie Horton starts, checks his swing. It's high and inside, ball 1. Horton, the first time up, struck out. For the second strikeout for Bob Gibson. He has 6 in this game. The pump by Gibson. Curveball, a little high, ball 2. This fellow has, with 1 swing, can put the Tigers out in front. He had 36 homers in 68. Tremendous power. The 2-0 pitch. Curveball inside, ball 3. Horton checking with Tony Cuccinello down at third base, where they let him hit this 3-0 pitch. With his power, you never can tell. Here it is, the kick. Fastball, just got that outside corner. Strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Willie Horton. He's ready to get things off for the Tigers here in the top half of the 5th inning. No score in this ball game. 1 hit for the Tigers, 1 hit for the Cardinals. Gibson pitches. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Well, you can see what kind of pitcher Gibson is. 3 balls. No strikes on Horton. Gibson hits that outside corner on the next 2 pitches. 3-2 is the count on Willie Horton. No one away. Gibson winds, kicks. Here's the pitch. Ball is popped up. Cepeda over at first base, but Javier says, I'll take it in front of Cepeda. And there is 1 out. Gibson has not walked the man. Jim Northrop, he's 0 for 1. He was a strikeout victim in the second inning. He has had 2 home runs in this series. The one yesterday with the bases loaded. He had 21 homers for the Tigers this year. 1 ball, no strike on him. Gibson checking with McCarver. Here's the pitch. It's popped up down the left field line. Maxwell going over. Shannon going over. Can he get to it? Shannon does. Shannon makes a nice running catch down that left field foul line to retire Jim Northrop. So it's 2 away, and that brings up Bill Freehan. McCarver wants to go out to talk to Bob. Mr. Gibson said, yes, sir, I understand. Now then, they're ready. Freehan got his first hit in the series yesterday. He is now 1 for 21. He flied out to Kurt Flood in his first time up today. Gibson, pitch. Foul straight back, strike 1. Cepeda at first, Javier at second, Maxwell at short, Shannon at third, Bach in left, Flood in center, Maris in right field, McCarver doing the catching, and Bob Gibson on the mound. The wind-up, the kick. Ball hit hard out in the left field. Lou Bach going back on the warning track underneath it and takes it for the 3rd out. That's all for Freehan, and that's all for the Tigers here in the top half of the 5th inning. So after 4.5 innings of play, it's still Detroit nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
Well, there's no score, and it keeps rolling along this way. No runs, 1 hit, no errors on each side. Lolich now ready to face the Cardinals in the 5th inning. It'll be McCarver, Maris, Maxwell, the first 3 scheduled batters against him. Well, the Cardinals had a threat going in the opening inning after Lolich retired the first 2. Flood single stole second. Cepeda walked, but Shannon was retired on a fly ball to right. And McCarver walked to start the second with the race in a double play. Everybody since then hit ground balls until Shannon struck out in the 4th inning. The Tigers have had only 1 runner. Now, that was Stanley, who had an infield hit to shortstop Maxwell in the 4th inning with 1 out, and he was left at first base. So the pitchers have dominated this 7th game so far, and it remains a scoreless tie going into the last half of inning number 5.
Defensively for the Tigers, Nat Cash at first base, McAuliffe at second, Stanley at short, Wood at third, Horton in left, Northup in center, Al Kaline in right, Bill Freehan doing the catching, and on the mound, Mickey Lolich. First pitch to McCarver. Fastball inside. And Tim walked his first time up today. Lolich has walked 2. But he was quickly erased as Roger Maris hit a line drive. As Stanley took on a short hop, stepped on second, and fired to first for the double play. The 1-0 pitch. He went around a curveball. He was looking for the fastball there. But Lolich came with the curveball, makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Tim McCarver. Lolich has now shut out the Cardinals 12 innings in a row. And Gibson has blanked the Tigers 10 innings in a row. These fellows are doing some kind of pitching. Ball hit hard. Stanley. Stanley out in left field. Willie Horton up with the ball. McCarver makes the turn at first. As we told you, McCarver, especially against the left-hander, hits a lot of balls in the left field. And he sliced that ball off. It hit out in front of Stanley and stayed down on the ground. He could not come up with the ball. There was a real tough chance. It's a base hit for McCarver, and the hitter is Roger Maris. Lolich, first pitch to him. And Maris hits it hard down at first baseline. Foul. On deck circle, Dal Maxwell. Kidding, Dal. Before today's game, he came into this game 0 for 20. But he has hit the ball hard. He says, Pee-wee, today is the day. 1 strike on Roger Maris. McCarver on at first. Swing and a miss, strike 2. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Tigers have 1 hit. Off Gibson, Mickey Stanley. Got it. The Cardinals have 2 hits. 1 by Flood and 1 by Tim McCarver on at first base right now. 2 strikes on Roger Maris. Lolich looks over at McCarver. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. High. Ball 1. Maris came into this game 3 for 16. 2 strikes. Lolich looks over at McCarver at first base. Here's the pitch. He struck him out. Dal Maxwell coming into the batter's box, free and out to talk to Mickey Lolich. Talking to Maris before the game. He said he had a little trouble with Lolich. I asked him how he pitched him. He said he gives me that curveball on the outside and then runs that sinker in on me. Well, right there was a breaking pitch. Out away from Roger. May not have been a strike, but he went for it. And that's the 2nd strikeout for Mickey Lolich. Dal Maxwell, first pitch to him. High and outside, ball 1. Bob Gibson in the on-deck circle. At first base, coaching for the Cardinals, Dick Sisler. At third base, Joe Schultz. 1 away. Lolich set. Looks over at McCarver. There's a kick, and there goes McCarver. The ball is popped up, though. Better hurry back. Norm Cash underneath it in foul territory. And he throws the ball to McAuliffe, covering his first, and McCarver had to slide back in there. So they had McCarver going. Gibson. I'm sure you know now of the round of applause he got when he stepped in there. hitter. It's 2 away. McCarver started this inning off with a base hit. Lolich struck out Mares, and Maxwell popped up. Bob Gibson there right now. McCarver still at first. Here's the pitch. It's popped up out into short center field. McAuliffe going back underneath it and calls for it and takes it for out number 3. And that's all for Gibson. And that's all for the Cardinals here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So the score after foul full inning, Detroit nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
Well, 2 great pitchers tied up against each other here at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis in the 7th game of the World Series. Detroit through 5 innings, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Cardinals, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Gibson pitching for the world champion Cardinals. Mickey Lolich, the pitcher for the American League champion Detroit Tigers. Now Gibson ready to face Tiger third baseman Don Wirt, and back to the mic comes Pee Wee Reese.
Thank you, Ernie. Don Wirt struck out his first time up. There's a ball popped up out into center field. Kurtzler will have no trouble with it. Underneath it, and takes it for out number 1. That's 4 straight men that have hit the ball in the air. Martin, Norfolk, Freehan, and Wirt. That brings up Mickey Lolich. He gets a nice hand. And this game is moving right along. We're already in the top half of the 6th inning. First pitch is strike to Lolich. Up the kick. Ball hit hard. Javier catches it on 1 hop. Flips the ball over to Cepeda. So it's 2 up and 2 down. Ball hit on 1 hop to Javier, and he caught a little bit like a football, but he was just trying to block it. That's what he did. He knew he had plenty of time with Lolich running. That brings up Dick McCullough. And it's 2 away. McAuliffe popped up to the first baseman and flied out to Roger Maris in right field. The first pitch to him. A curveball in there for call strike 1. And this Gibson is sharp. He has already struck out 6 men. McAuliffe with that wide open stance of his, that weight on his back foot. Fastball a little bit too low, ball 1. The Tigers have 1 hit by Stanley. The Cardinals have 2, 1 by Flood and 1 by Tim McCarver. And we're already in the 6th inning. It has been pitching today. Gibson, fastball. Outside, ball 2. McAuliffe has 1 home run in the series, 3 runs batted in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the kick, the pitch. Hit him on a foot. Gibson retrieves the ball. Flips the ball over to the first base umpire. Jim Honachik said it's all right. Counts 2-2 on Dick McAuliffe. Gibson on that rubber. He's always ready. McCarver giving the sign. Here's the wind up, the kick. A curveball hit out into center field. Kurt Flood underneath it. And takes it to the 3rd out. That's all for McAuliffe and all for the Tigers here in the top half of the 6th inning. The score, 5.5 innings of play. It's still Detroit nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
Gibson has been fabulous in his pitching. The Tigers have hit only 2 balls on the ground. Cash grounded the 3rd and the 4th inning. Lolich grounded the 2nd and the 6th. They have only 1 hit. Lolich has been just about as sharp. He's allowed a single to Flood and a single to McCarver. The game is scoreless going to the last half of the 6th inning. The Cardinals at bat. And here's Mr. Reese again.
Thank you, Ernie. Lou Brock leading things off the Cardinals, the bottom half of the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2, grounded out to McAuliffe. Both times up today. Outside, ball 1. Brock made a bluff like he was going to bunt. We have not seen him bunt in this series. They say he does not bunt too much. He He's had 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in this series. That's pretty good. Curveball outside, ball 2. And he has 7 stolen bases. Brock checks with his coach, Joe Schultz, down at third base. And they would like to get this man on the base. He seems to get a ball club moving. The count is 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Base hit out in the left field. Well, you can see what it does to the fans. They're howling for Brock to go. And don't you worry. He will be going sometime while he's on that sack. Javier, who can handle the bat, can hit the ball in the right field. He's batting second. There's no one out. Brock is on. Lolich looking for his sign from Bill Freehand. Brock with a good lead at first base. Here's the pitch. Middle outside, ball 1. Brock just got his 13th hit in the series. And that ties a Danny Little second baseman by the name of Bobby Richardson's 1964 World Series record of 13 hits. The record's being tied and the record's being broken. 1 ball, no strike on Javier. Brock with a big lead at first. Even a much larger lead right now. There he goes. They may have a chance at him. He's out. Well, here's what happened. Brock got what I thought was a tremendous lead. And then he went up a couple of more steps, just daring Lolich to throw the ball to first base. Lolich did, and Brock, I'm sure, had in mind a beating to throw to second base, and it was close, Ernie.
It sure was, and it looked as if Lolich may have known what a tremendous lead this fellow was getting, and maybe could let him decoy himself into it a little bit. Anyway, he took off and outran the ball once before, but he didn't do it this time.
Started to say he had done that one other time against Lolich. But Lolich came over there a little bit faster with this one. Javier with a count of 1 ball and no strikes on him. Curveball. Too low, ball 2. And here's a fella that they say is one of the real fine hitters against left-handed pitching. He's 0 for 2 today. In the series, coming in today's game, he was batting at a cool .391. The count right now, 2 balls and no strikes on him. Lolich, the windup, the kick. Curveball, just got the inside corner. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And Brock started this inning off with a base hit in the left field. He was picked off first, and I'm sure that's what he wanted. But he could not beat the throw in the second. There's Cash through to Stanley. And they nipped him. The 2-1 pitch to Javier. Ball hit hard. Line drive right at Stanley at shortstop. So it's 2 away. Well, anytime you get that Brock on there, you see some action. Flood. He has 1 base hit today. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball, high and inside, ball 1. Flood now 7 for 26 in the series. Count of 1 ball and no strikes on him. Lolich, the big windup. Here's the kick. Foul off the left. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 7th game. And the final game of the 1968 World Series. There is no tomorrow. Both pitchers, Lolich and Gibson, have 1-2. looking for their third game. The 1-1 pitch to Flood. Checks, he swings, it's inside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Curt Flood. Ernie Harwell and I'm Pee Wee Reese here at Busch Stadium. A beautiful day in St. Louis. We had rain yesterday, but we couldn't ask for a nicer day today. 2 balls, 1 strike. The kick, the pitch. Ground ball out to shortstop. Stanley, he's up with the ball. He'll have to hurry, and they didn't get him. Better known as Cha-Cha, and he is the cheerleader for this Cardinals ball club. Is the hitter. It's 2 away. Curt Flood on at first base with his second hit of the day. He stole a base in the first inning. Two away. Lolich taking a little time. He is ready now. Looks over at Flood at first. Here's the pitch. Curveball inside. Ball 1. Cepeda has 2 home runs in the series. 6 runs batted in. 1 ball, no strike on him. Lolich takes a look at Flood, who does not have too much of a lead. There's a curveball in there for call strike 1. They play Cepeda straight away. And deep. Cepeda hits a lot of balls hard in the right center field. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cepeda. On at first base, Curt Flood. There goes Flood, and he picked him off at first. Don Cash running down to Dick McAuliffe. Now then McAuliffe is running him back to Mickey Lolich. Mickey Lolich has the ball. He's running him back to Stanley. Stanley is now running Flood down and tags him. Here's how the play went. 1 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 6, and they finally trapped him down there. And that's all for the Cardinals here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So the score after 6 full innings, the Tigers still nothing and the Cardinals nothing. Tigers no runs on 1 hit, the Cardinals no runs on 4 hits. And to tell you all about it, the sidekick, Ernie Harbaugh. Come on in, Ernie.
Thank you, Pee Wee. Stanley takes the curve from Gibson for a strike as the 7th inning gets underway. The score is high. Stanley has the only Tiger hit off Bob Gibson at a single in the 4th inning. He takes the ball wide. 1-1 the count on Mickey. Brock has tied a series record by hitting safely in every game of a 7-game series and done many times previous to this series. The wind-up and the pitch. Swung on and popped foul back at the plate. It'll be out of play. The Tigers have had only 1 runner on the bases against the great Bob Gibson this afternoon. That was Stanley, who had a single, an infield hit to the shortstop in the 4th with 1 man out. The Cardinals have 4 hits off Lolich, and they've all been singles. A brilliant duel between 2 great pitchers. Scoreless tie, 7th inning, the pitch. Curveball hit on the line drive, foul over the head of Cepeda. He almost had a shot at that ball, but it was over his head, and he leaped and couldn't reach it. It went into foul territory. A check swing by Stanley. This is the closest game the 2 teams have played so far. In all the other games, one of the teams got out in front rather early. In the first game of the series, the Cardinals got 3 in the 4th. That was the latest it went scoring. Here's a strike called. A big fastball trips the outside corner. And Gibson gets another strikeout. That's number 7. He had not had one since Kaline struck out in the 4th inning. And here is Kaline up again. The Tigers hitting hero in this series, but he's 0 for 2 against Gibson today, both on strikeout. Bounding ball to third. Grabbed by Shannon before the first, a rather easy out. Shannon keeps the fader. Kaline retired. 2 down, nobody on. Game scoreless in the Tigers' 7th inning, and here is Norman Cash. Cash has flied to right and bounced to third. Tigers have hit only 3 ground balls. 2 to Shannon, 1 to Javier. Norman Cash, the Texan, facing Bob Gibson. 2 out, nobody on. He takes a ball high, ball 1. Now the windup by the Cardinal right-hander. The pitch is cut on and missed. There's a fastball that he blew right through there. 1-1 the count on Cash. 2 out. Nobody on. This is the type of game that can explode on any pitch. Gibson is set down 10 in a row. The 1-1 pitch. Cash takes the ball, checks his swing on an outside fastball. 2-1 the count on Norman. Outfield deep to right, the infield back with 2 out, the base is empty. Gibson checking his time with Ketchum-McCarver. Scoreless tie. It's the 7th inning. For the windup, the pitch to Cash. He takes the curve across. 2-2. Changed up and got his curve over.
Not only did he get it over, he got it in a good spot, Ernie, just on that outside corner. Cash thought it missed.
I don't believe Gibson's thrown his curve as much as he did in the first game. Here's a pitch. There's a curve. It's low. Full count on Norman Cash. 2 out, nobody on. No score. 7th inning. Tigers at bat. Now the windup and the pitch. Swing. There's a looping drive to right. It'll drop in for a single by Cash. Fielded by Roger Maris, the Cardinal right fielder, and Cash has hit number 2 off Bob Gibson. Each of the hits has been a single. Here's Willie Horton, who has struck out and popped to second base. Cash is only the 2nd man to reach base against the fine pitching of Bob Gibson. And the tension mounts here as the game moves into the late innings in St. Louis. 2 out and 1 on. Ground ball, left side, through, base hit by Horton. Cash checks in and holds it second. And the Tigers, for the first time, have 2 men on base. For the first time, they've moved a man past first. That is the 3rd hit, a ground ball single between Shannon and Maxwell. And Jim Northrup comes to bat now against Gibson. This is the only real scoring threat the Tigers have mounted against Gibson. Previous to this inning, Stanley had a single. He'd been the only runner. Now it's Cash at second. Willie Horton at first base. Game tied in the 7th. Time call by the Cardinal catcher McCarver. He goes out to talk to Gibson.
Ernie, maybe Tim McCarver or Bob Gibson may have heard Frank Blair on the Today Show this morning when he said the NBC computer said that Jim Northrup would hit a home run with 2 men on today. Maybe they better walk and said, let's strike out that computer, eh?
Now the set by Gibson. We're ready. There's a swing and a fly ball to center. Here comes Claude digging hard. He almost fell down. It's over his head for the hit. Cash is rounding third. He scores. Willie Horton rounding third. He scores. Northrup goes into third base. Detroit leads 2-0. Breaks it open, Pee Wee.
Yeah, it looked like Kurt Flood. He charged in on that ball. Then he saw that the ball was hit harder than he thought it was. He tried to break back. He slipped on it and then could not catch up to the ball.
It's a 3-bagger, and the Tigers lead 2-0 in the 7th. Freehand takes the curve from Gibson. Ball 1 with 2 outs. Singles by Cash and Horton. And then a fly to deep center. Over the head of Flood for 3 bases. That came off the bat of Northrop. Here's a strike. A breaking ball in the inside corner. 1-1. So Detroit broken the scoreless tie to go ahead 2-0 in the 7th. Man on third, 2 out. Freehan takes a fastball. Low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Northrop third base. The infield laying back now. And the outfield straight away on Freehan. Gibson winds and pitches. Swing and a miss on a fastball. 2-2 the count on Freehan. Second assigned by Gibson. It's the 2-2 pitch. Swings as a line drive left to the field. Coming hard is Brock. He can't get it. It bounds away from him. Freehan going for 2. Northrop is scored, and Freehan goes in standing at second. 3-0 Detroit. That is a 2-base hit for Freehan. Brock, the left fielder, charged the ball. He managed to almost short hop it, but it bounded away from him. Northrop scored easily, and Freehan takes a double. And the Detroit Tigers lead 3-0 in the 7th. The batter will be Wirt, and they'll put him on with first base open and 2 out, and the pitcher Lolich due to bat next. Wirt is getting an intentional walk here in the 7th inning situation. And he tosses the bat away and trots on down to first base. That is the first walk off Gibson. It's an intentional pass. So Detroit with a 3-0 lead now. As Freehan at second, Wirt at first base from the 7th inning. They're 2 out, and the pitcher Lolich at bat. He swings and fouls into the Cardinal dugout. Lolich is struck out and bounced to second. The Tigers exploded here in the 7th with 2 away. Singles by Cash and Horton, a 3-bagger by Northrop, and a double by Freehan. There's a cut and a miss on a breaking ball. Strike 2 on Lolich. Gibson trying to hold him off now. The Tigers have scored 3 times. He sets and pitches. Here's a strike called. Struck him out. It's the 8th strikeout for Gibson. At the end of 6 1/2 innings, Detroit 3, St. Louis 0. Well, Bob Gibson was just sailing right along, Ernie. But he ran in a little trouble after 2 outs in top half the 7th inning. He gets struck out, Mickey Stanley. Then Kaline grounded out to third. Looked like an easy inning. Then Cash got a base hit. Martin followed with 1 in the left. Then on a ball hit out to center field that first plug came in on just a little bit. Then he saw it was hit harder. Tried to go back. Slipped. Could not catch up with it. And Northrop batted in 2 runs. Then Freehan hit a double. So there's 3 runs. The Tigers now lead 3-0. Going in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and Orlando Cepeda, the first hitter, Ernie. Orlando steps in. He walked in the first inning, and then he grounded out to Don Wirt, the Tiger third baseman, in the 4th. So officially, he is 0 for 1 in this afternoon's game. Mickey Lolich, the Detroit left-hander, delivers, and Cepeda fouls it off out of play. Strike 1 on Cepeda. Outfield deep, the infield back. The outfield straight away on him. Lolich checking his sign. The left-hander kicks and deals. Cepeda swings and misses on a high, hard one. Strike 2, the count on him. Wirt deep at third base. Stanley over into the hole at shortstop now on Cepeda. The windup by Lolich. The strike 2 pitch is a ball. He checked his swing on a let-up curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cash playing at first base. McAuliffe at second. Stanley at short. Wirt at third. In the outfield, the Tigers have Horton left. Northrop in center. Kaline, the right fielder. The catcher, Freehan, and the pitcher, Mickey Lolich. Now the 1-2 pitch is due to Cepeda. Watch out. He backed him away. 2-2. High and in close. to Cepeda. It'll be Shannon and then McCarver. Detroit leads 3-0 in the last half of the seventh here in St. Louis in the seventh game of the World Series. Here's the pitch. Cut him out. Swung and missed. It's the third strikeout by Lolich. The next Cardinal batter will be Mike Shannon. He has slid to right and fanned. One out and nobody on. Lolich is taking a little more time than he did earlier. Kicks and kneels, and Shannon hits a ground foul past third base. Ball hit sharply, but pulled too much. Strike one. Three runs, 5 hits, no errors for Detroit. St. Louis, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And the Cardinals are batting in the seventh with 1 out. Here's the ball high. Hands up on the bat as if he might try to bunt the ball. Work was laying back. And the batter, Shannon, then did not offer on the pitch from Lolich. Stanley moving a little over to the glove side at shortstop. Here's the windup, the pitch. It's a high one, 2-1. Waiting at the on-deck circle for St. Louis. Tigers ahead 3-0 over the Cardinals in the seventh. Now the 2-1 delivery. He takes a curve for a strike. 2-2 the count on Shannon. Lolich checks his sign, ready to go on the 2-2 delivery. Shannon backs off from a high, tight one, 3-2. Pee-wee, is it my imagination, or is he taking more time out there, Lolich?
I think he is. Of course, Lolich pitching with 2 days rest. Throwing quite a few balls. He could be a little bit tired. Maybe just resting a little bit between pitches.
Shannon waits now on the 3-2 delivery. Swung on is a fly ball to left center, not very deep. Horton and Northup coming after it. Both are there, and to Northup, allowing Shannon to reach second base. Northup and Horton converged on the fly ball into short left center. Neither one waved the other one off. They had a very near collision. Northup managed to get his glove on the ball, and then it squirted away. Shannon able to take second base on the error, and here is McCarver batting. He's had a walk and a single. He's been on base each of his 2 trips. The first error of this game. Here's the pitch. Swing, there's a fly ball into right. Not very deep. Kaline has the range of it. Makes the catch in right field. The throw comes into Stanley, and Shannon gets back to second. That was pretty close. Stanley grabbed the ball and almost ran him back.
Ernie, we've heard about Kaline's fire with the bat, his base running. He could do it all. You just saw his arm right there. Shannon made a bluff like he was going to third. He didn't have any idea of going, but that ball was fired to Stanley, and Stanley almost picked him off at second.
Kaline has one of the great arms in baseball. Here's Roger Maris. Man on second. 2 out. Cardinals batting. The Tigers lead 3-0 in the last half of the seventh inning. Maris has hit into a double play and struck out swinging against the Tiger pitcher Lolich. And a miss on a curve. Strike one on Roger Maris. Schofield running down toward the Cardinal bullpen. Goes through the door and disappears behind the fence. We don't have the vision on the bullpen here in this park. Strike one count on Maris. Man on second. 2 out. There's a pop-up into the middle of the diamond. Stanley, the shortstop, calling for it. He makes the catch, and that's all for the Cardinals. And at the end of 7, it is Detroit 3 and St. Louis nothing. Here's Dick McCall to lead off for Detroit. Detroit ahead 3-0 in the 8th. Gibson delivers, and it's a ball outside on McCall, a fastball. The Tigers, with 2 out in the 7th, scored 3 times. Singles by Cash and Horton, a triple by Northrup, and a double by Freehand. There's a bombing ball on the right side of the infield. Javier makes a good stop, throws over to Cepeda, and McCall is out. 1 up and 1 away for the Detroiters in their 8th inning. The batter will be Mickey Stanley, who has lined to the pitcher Gibson, single to the shortstop deep, and taken a call, 3rd strike. Detroit 3, St. Louis nothing in the 8th. Gibson ready to go to work. Swing, a bounding ball to short. Maxwell charges, grabs it, throws to Cepeda. He got him by 3 steps. 2 up and 2 away in the Detroit 8th inning. And the batter will be Al Kaline, who has failed to hit in this game. He struck out twice and bounced to 3rd. There's a line shot grabbed by the second baseman Javier to end the inning. And at the end of 7 1/2 innings in St. Louis, Detroit 3, the Cardinals nothing.
Amy Reese. Now along with Jim Simpson, since Ernie Harwell has gone downstairs in case the Tigers win this game. We'll have a little post-game ceremony. So it's a pleasure having Mr. Simpson to come in here and work with me these last few innings. So in about half the 8th inning, the first hitter, the pinch hitter, Phil Gagliano. Come on in, Jim.
Thank you, Pee Wee, very much. Here's Gagliano, 0 for 2 in the series as Red Shanedeans goes to the bench in an effort to get some runs. He trails 3-0. Gagliano takes the first pitch from Lolich in an attempt to win his 3rd game of this series. It is low, ball 1. The Cardinals had a great opportunity to score in the 6th inning when they got 2 hits, but 2 men were thrown out stealing. The 3rd out was a line drive to the shortstop. Ground ball, chance for Wirt, backs on the ball, has it at third base, throws high, but Cash has it for the first out of the Cardinals' 8th. Bob Gibson will bat for himself, and listen to this ovation. Gibson, who has struck out 8, but as of this moment is failing in his attempt to win his 8th consecutive World Series complete game, stands in to bat for himself. He's grounded out and popped up. Lolich's first pitch swung on and fouled to the screen, strike 1. Lolich, of course, is working with 2 days rest, a 17-game winner during the regular season, and now in an effort to win his 3rd World Series game and the series for the Tigers. 3-0 in the last of the 8th with 1 out and none on. Lolich again ready. 3/4 delivery, punted foul down toward the third base coach's box where Joe Schultz picks it up. It's strike 2 to Gibson. Temperature today about 60 degrees. A perfect day after the rain of yesterday and the rain of Sunday in Detroit for the 7th and conclusive game of the 1968 World Series. Gibson back in the box with a count of 2 strikes. Lolich ready now, looking into Bill Freehand for the sign. 2-strike pitch, fouled off and back over the screen below. Still 2 strikes. Tigers got their runs with 2 out in the 7th. Cash singled. Horton singled him down to 2nd. Northrup hit a ball to straightaway center field. Flood broke in, then went back, slipped it, went over his head for a triple, and Freehand doubled him in. And it's 3-0. Lolich ready again. Low pitch. Gibson went part the way around, but third umpire Tom Gorman says not all the way. It's ball 1. 1-2. In that 7th inning, the Tigers sent to bat against Bob Gibson 8 men. Lolich ready again. From over the top, it is fouled off the end of the bat of Gibson, and the count remains at 1-2. Pee-wee, we had some high-scoring games throughout this series, but when they talk about the series, I'm sure they're going to talk about this 7th game.
We've seen some kind of pitching in this game. Lolich got off to a little bad start. Looked like he may have a little trouble, but he has settled down and pitched great ball. And, of course, Gibson had no trouble at all until the 7th inning.
1-2 the count. Gibson, of course, admitted he was tired, as is Lolich. The Tigers, to me, look like they're swinging the bat a little bit better against Gibson today. Swing and a miss by Gibson. And there is the 4th strikeout for Lolich in the 2nd out of the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Lou Brock. Brock has more hits than anybody else in the series, 13, and of course he has stolen 7 bases. But you'll recall the last time that he tried this field in series play since reaching the mark of 7, he has been thrown out. Today has grounded to second twice. With Ward drawn in on a 2-0 pitch in the 6th, he singled past him, but then was thrown out in an attempt to steal. Lolich throwing to Cash to Stanley, who put it on him. 2 out on the 8th, 3-0 to score. Lolich ready to work to Brock. Breaking pitch off the corner, ball 1. Harwell, who has been working the games with Pee-wee, now in the Detroit dressing room in case the Tigers win, and Jack Buck, who worked the games in Detroit, is in the St. Louis dressing room in case the Cardinals come back. A low pitch, 2-0 now to Brock. Lou backs out and looks down to Schultz at third base. Crowd here, 54,692. That's been the mark in every game. The Cardinals have won 8 World Series and lost 3. 2-0, and Brock stands there and watches it sail low, and it's 3-0. 2 out, Brock the batter, and Lolich, who now stands with his hands on his hips and looks out towards center field, has a count of 3-0 on Lou Brock. Mickey now ready, staring in at Brock, who has that closed stance. Bat poised, steps across the plate. He was taking all the way, and it's outside and high. Ball 4, and the dangerous Lou Brock is at first base with 2 outs. That's the 3rd walk given up by Lolich, and the first since the 2nd inning, and here comes Mayo Smith. It could be, Pee-wee, that Lolich is tired and has said something between innings, or it could be that Mayo is simply coming out to calm him down and remind him that he has 2 out with Brock at first. 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for Detroit. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cardinals.
But Jim, I was just wondering. I heard Denny McLean ask the question yesterday. Said if Mayo Smith needs you tomorrow, of course we know we're not going to take out Lolich right now. But he wanted to talk to him, kind of slow him down, as you said. But I was wondering if Denny McLean will be used in this ball game if Lolich is taken out. I wouldn't be too much surprised to see Denny McLean come into this ball game.
McLean, the winner yesterday, of course, Pee-wee, did not have to throw that hard as a result of the 2 runs in the 2nd and the 10 in the 3rd, and therefore was not worked too hard, although he went to full 9. Now we have 2 outs. We'll keep an eye on Brock at first base. 3-0 to score. Detroit. We're in the last of the 8th inning. And Julio Javier is the batter. 0 for 3 on the day. Bunts the ball. Ward picks it up on 1 hop, fires on to first base, and has it for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and at the end of 8, Detroit 3, St. Louis nothing.
We're going to the top half of the 9th inning. You know these Tigers are happy. Even Norm Cash, listen to the music. He comes up to home plate, kind of doing a little jig. They're leading this ball game by a score of 3-0. Norm Cash, Willie Harton, and Jim Northam. Here in the top of the 9th inning, the base Gibson to tell you all about it, Jim Simpson.
All right, Pee-wee. Ducky Schofield has gone in at shortstop. Remember, Maxville was batted for. Cash cuts on the first ball, hits it very high. Maris is waiting in right field, now trots in a few steps and has it for the first out of the Tigers' 9th. That will bring up Willie Horton. I didn't even get a chance to tell you, in the 7th with 2 out, it was Cash who singled to right, and Horton, whose 2-out single kept the drive alive and set up the triple over the head of Flood by Jim Northrup. 1 out in the 9th. And the Tigers right now have a 3-0 lead. Gibson working, breaking ball, laced down the line in left field. Over quickly is Brock. Horton goes around first base and will stay right there. And that is the 6th hit of Bob Gibson.
Jim,
looks to me like they're going to put a runner in for Willie Harton. I see Mayo Smith up the top of the dugout there, signaling down to the bullpen. He wants a runner, and it could be for Willie Harton.
And if that happens, apparently Northrop, as has happened in other series games, Pee Wee, will move from center to left. Stanley will go from short to center, and they'll bring in Ray Euler for defensive purposes.
It looks like Dick Trzaskowski coming in. There's Willie Harton leaving first base. And I believe it is. Here comes Dick Trzaskowski going over to talk to his manager. Mayo Smith, he's getting himself a helmet. So it'll be Dick Trzaskowski running for Willie Harton. And as Jim told you, Northrop will probably move over to left. Mickey Stanley, the shortstop, will move out in the center field. And maybe Trzaskowski will just stay in at the game and play shortstop.
Especially since he is battle-tested in series play, Pee Wee. If you would like to look ahead to the last of the ninth, and the last chance for the St. Louis Cardinals, Flood, Cepeda, and Shannon, the listed batters. Here's Northrop, whose triple drove in the first 2 runs. He later scored himself. And this 3-0 ball game takes the breaking pitch from Bob Gibson. It's low, ball 1. Trzaskowski running for Horton, who got his second hit of the day, is at first base, 1 out in the ninth. Gibson ready again. Half-check swing by Northrop. It's fouled off to the left. It is 1-1. The crowd here of nearly 55,000 just bursting to cut loose if the Tigers can come back. But right now, Bob Gibson, trailing 3-0, is trying to set down the Tigers in the ninth. 1-1 pitch from Gibson. Fastball low. It is 2-1. Northrop, with the grand slam yesterday, has also hit another home run, and it was off Bob Gibson back in Detroit. Ground ball up the middle. Gets under Schofield, and digging around first and going around second and going for third is Trzaskowski. They're men on first and third, and with 1 out, the Tigers again come alive. And that's the second hit of this game for Northrop. And that will bring up Bill Freehan, who went 0 for 16 before getting a single yesterday. Today he has a double to drive in the third run of this game. And with 1 out, men at first and third, Freehan is up. And let me tell you that Bill has hit the ball very well today. He has lined out to Flood in center and sent Brock deep in left and then double to left. He's been swinging the bat very well. Gibson ready and throws fastball, cut on, off first base in foul territory. A high pop, Cepeda there, and now has it for the second out of the ninth. And that will bring up third baseman Don Wirth. Wirth today struck out on 3 pitches in the third, flied to center in the sixth, and was put on intentionally in the seventh before Lolich struck out to end that big uprising, in which the Tigers had 4 runs, or rather 4 hits, and scored all 3 runs. To center. This will drive another run in. Wirth drives in a run with a sharp single to center on the first pitch from Bob Gibson. It is 4-0 Detroit in the ninth. And that will give Mickey Lolich a chance for an ovation from this crowd here at Busch Stadium. Has shut out the Cardinals thus far, given up only 4 hits. It's the first pitch high in the air. Drifting back is Javier from second base and should have it for the third out. But the Tigers score a run, and in the middle of the ninth, the score now is Detroit 4 and St. Louis nothing.
Well, here are the changes. Northrop has moved over to left, taking Willie Harton's place. Stanley from shortstop out to center. And Ray Euler is now playing shortstop for the Tigers. And it's the bottom half of the ninth inning. The Cardinals trail by a score of 4-0. It's the last chance for the Cardinals. Curt Flood is the first hitter. And now Jim steps in.
Thank you, Pee Wee. As Flood steps in, he has 2 hits today, has stolen a base, and has been picked off in an attempt to steal a base. Lolich ready. He's gone all the way, and there's strike 1. Flood, Cepeda, and Shannon. Bob Gibson apparently having failed in his attempt to win 8 consecutive and complete games, but this game is not over yet, and like the Tigers, the Cardinals are explosive. Off-speed pitch, strike 2 to Flood. Kurt was taking all the way. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Detroit, no runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. Defensively, trying to stop the Cardinals, Wirt at third, Euler at short, McAuliffe at second, Cash at first, Northrup in left, Stanley in center, Kaline in right, Freehan the catcher, Woolridge delivering, foul tipped on the swing, and it's still 2 strikes. Ernie Harwell has been with you along with Pee Wee all through this ball game, and all games from here in St. Louis at the moment is in the Detroit dressing room. In the event, and right now it seems a likely one, that the Tigers win the series. But the Cardinals still have their say. Lolich ready for the 2-strike pitch. Off-speed pitch, but it's low, and it's 1-2. The day has been perfect for this 7th game of the World Series. And the game has been perfect, unless you're a Cardinal fan. Tight pitching. Nobody scored until the 7th inning. Gibson and Lolich in a duel all the way. Neither has been replaced. 1-2 pitch. Line drive. Gloved by Euler at shortstop. 1 out. Euler raced to his right. The drive seemed to sink, and he stuck up his glove and had it. And here is Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda has walked. Wirt made a fine play on his ground ball in the 4th, and he struck out swinging on a 2-2 pitch in the 7th. And while it back in the 4th, Cepeda pulled one deep and foul to the left, and then pushed one deep and foul to the right. He had good wood on the ball. The Tigers right now 2 outs away from this World Series victory. High in the air on the first pitch, perhaps playable. Freehan comes off the bag. Wirt is in. Freehan says he's got it. 2 out in the 9th. And with 2 outs, some of the fans here in Busch Stadium in St. Louis feel that the Tigers have it wrapped up. They're beginning to leave, Pee Wee. But here comes Mike Shannon. And in the excitement of this ball game, if Shannon does not get on, let us pay tribute to one man, whom we have seen apparently bat for the last time in baseball, Roger Maris, who's listed a couple of batters away from Shannon. Roger is retiring after today's game. He may yet get to bat. Here's Shannon, fly to right, struck out swinging, and reached on an error when Northrup and Horton nearly collided in the 7th inning in left center field. Lolich ready, fires low, ball 1. 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for Detroit. The big blow. Northrup triple over the head of Flood in center field in the 7th. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. Bob Gibson, who had given up 1 run in the prior 2 games to this, has given up 4. Up high with the pitch, it is 2-0. Many of the Tigers are along the front step of their dugout. Staring out at Lolich, who is working with 2 days' rest. 2-0 pitch from Mickey. Catches the corner. Strike 1. 2-1. Mickey has slowed down Pee Wee in his delivery, but nevertheless, as he is slowed down, he continues to throw hard.
I was thinking the same thing in the 9th inning. He came right out and took charge. He is throwing as hard right now as he has all day.
1-1 pitch, long drive, left field. Back toward the wall goes Northrup, looking up at the base. It is over the wall, home run. 4-1, Detroit. Baseman Mike Shannon on a 2-1 pitch drilled it over the wall in left field, and it is 4-1, 2 out in the 9th, and the Cardinals still alive with catcher Tim McCarver, the batter. He is 1 for 2 on the day. He has also walked. Maris is on deck. Lolich is a left-handed pitcher, and McCarver and Maris are both left-handed batters. However, the word is that McCarver can hit the left-handed pitching. Cardinal catcher waits. Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehan waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins. Lolich is being mobbed at home plate. The Detroit Tigers, down 3 games to 1, came back and have won it, something only 2 other teams have ever done. Pittsburgh over Washington in 1925, and the Yankees over the Braves in 1958. And now the Tigers have done it over the defending world champion St. Louis Cardinals. Down 3-1. They have taken 3 in a row, with Lolich today winning his third. Denny McLain won the 4th game yesterday. The final score, Detroit 4, St. Louis 1. Well, Pee Wee Reese, this is the 3rd time in history it's been done. A lot of folks thought the Detroit Tigers were through, but they really have come back and have taken this 1968 World Series.
I would think so. After seeing Lolich's last game over in Detroit, after the Cardinals were leading the series by 3-1, the Cardinals got 3 runs in that first inning. It looks like it was just a matter of time and just how much the Cardinals would beat them by, but he settled down and came back and pitched a great ball game and won it 5-3. And the Detroit Ball Club, and so did the Cardinals. They both deserve a lot of credit. Bob Gibson pitched great ball today, but he looked like he may have gotten a little tired in the 7th inning, and the Tigers finally got to him, scoring 3 runs there after 2 men were out. Then they scored 1 run in the 9th inning. Mickey Lolich pitching with 2 days rest. Didn't look to me like he was too tired, Jim.
He sure didn't. We might also point out, Pee Wee, that in the 6th inning, the Cardinals had a great chance to score, had 2 base hits. The final score, Detroit 4, St. Louis 1.
Thank you very much. We're in the Tiger Clubhouse and a wild celebration for the new world champions. And here is the Commissioner of Baseball, William Eckert, and he has a special presentation to Manager Mayo Smith, Owner-President John Fetzer, General Manager Jim Campbell. Mr. Commissioner, it's yours.
I'm just delighted to be here. Mayo, congratulations on one of the greatest comeback victories in the history of the series. I want to congratulate you, John Fetzer, the players, Jim Campbell, all the Detroit Tiger organization for this great series triumph. You certainly won it from a great Cardinal team, and in recognition of this great achievement, I want to present you a beautiful World Series trophy here today.
Well, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank God.
Hey, here it is. Well, Commissioner, thank you very much. On behalf of the players, Mr. Fetzer and Jim Campbell and all the Detroit organization, and this is a very, very happy day for all of us. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Mayo Smith. Mayo? Why, we've got you up here now. Were there any special instructions to the fellows before the game? Did you have a meeting or anything
Ernie, no. There was no special instructions, no.
When did you feel that this series made its turn in favor of the Tigers? What special game?
I think it was the 5th game in the 7th inning when we came from behind after being down 3 runs in the first inning, and we went on to win it 5-3. And
that's when K-Line got his base.
That's right. That's right.
And then what about the game today? I guess it was a hit by Northrop, wasn't it?
Well, of course, yeah, but Mickey does such a great job to keep us in there. We felt that if we could stay to Gibson, in the latter innings, we'd have a chance of getting him because he pitched a lot of baseball, and we were just fortunate enough to, as I say, to sort of break it loose in the 7th inning.
Well, congratulations, Mayo. I know you're going to be very busy. We want to talk to some of the players. Let's see if we can find Denny McLain's right here, a fellow who won the game yesterday, came back and kept the Tigers in it, and I guess you're a
Well, we've been doing this all year, and there's no time to stop now. Just fantastic. This is bigger than winning a pennant. It's unbelievable.
Denny, what were you doing when Northrop hit that ball? Where were you, out in the bullpen?
Down in the bullpen,
yeah.
Right.
And did you get a good look at it?
Yeah, Floyd misjudged the ball.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He slipped on a play or something, but that's the way we've been winning games, waiting for other clubs to make mistakes, and we proved it again today.
Well, you've been great champions. Thank you, Denny McLain. We got Willie Horton here. Willie, you came through with a big single in that rally, and I know you must be feeling very happy right now.
I feel real good, Ernie. They underrated it. They think we couldn't do it. We came back after we was down, and just feel great.
And you beat one of the real tough pitchers in baseball in Mr. Bob Gibson, didn't you?
That's true. Now we number 1.
Well, congratulations, Willie Horton. Now we've got the veteran on the Tiger team, Al Kaline. It took him 16 years to get in the World Series, and I know it's been a terrific thrill for you, Al.
Oh, it really has, Ernie. Our club came back again. We won 3 games in a row, and
The St. Louis ball club is a great ball club, and Gibson's probably the greatest pitcher I ever faced. But this has been the secret of our ball club all year long. We came back, and we got a great job out of Mickey Lloyd. Fantastic.
Well, thank you, Al, and have a nice rest of the winter. You're now a member of the World's Champions, and here's a fellow who won the third game in the World Series, his third victory, Mickey Lolich. And Mickey, it has been fantastic what you have done.
Thank you, Ernie. Thank you very much. I really don't have too much to say right now. I really don't.
Did you feel very tired? Did you feel like that you might be losing your stuff toward the late innings?
I never got tired in the game. I was weak almost from about the third inning on. I didn't have the real good, hard fastball that I do know how to throw. As you notice, most of the balls today were hit on the ground. I was throwing a sinking fastball all day. I didn't have the good, hard fastball. I had fairly good control, not as good as I usually like, but I kept making the ball sink, and I got him out.
The fact that you were tired helped that ball sink a little more, you think?
Right, it helped a lot. By being tired, it causes the ball to sink more.
Now, what about, you had a little conference on the mound right at the end. Did Mayo come out and ask you if you had enough gas left to go, or what?
No, he says he just wanted to slow me down. He says he thought maybe I was getting too excited out there about, having it so close to coming to the end. He says, I want you to take it easy, relax, and throw like you've been throwing all day.
All right. Well, thank you, Mickey. It was a great performance, and have a very nice, quiet winter.
Okay.
And we'll be back in Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis in 1 minute.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry. With new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
10 more blades to go.
5 blades to go.
3. There's 3 blades to go. That's it. I used up all the old blades. Now I can use the new Gillette Super Stainless Steel blade with the miracle plastic coating on the edge. They say it's supposed to spoil you.
The spoiler.
Sport Magazine awards the most valuable player of the World Series, the Dodge Charger GT. And this year, the award goes to the fellow we just talked to, Mickey Lolich, the 3-victory pitcher of the Detroit Tigers. And now it's our pleasure to introduce the American League president with a big smile on his face. It's nice to have a winner, Mr. Joe Cronin.
Ernie, I'm speechless. This was a terrific series, I want to tell you, and I know how you must feel after all being with the Tigers day in and day out, spring training on. But it was a great thing for a great game of baseball. Mickey Lolich and all those Tigers are just a great credit to our game.
Well, thank you, Mr. Joe Cronin.
And the Tiger organization is one of the tops in baseball.
Thank you very much, and nice to have you with us. And here's a young man named Dick McAuliffe.
Hello, Ernie.
It's great to be with a world's champion, I imagine,
It's the greatest feeling in the world, Ernie.
And where'd you get that hat, anyway?
This is Campbell's hat, and I stole it from him, and I told him if we win this thing, I want this hat, and he gave it to me.
He's got to buy it back from you right now.
No, he's not going to have this time again.
And here's a young man named Dick McAuliffe.
Hello, Ernie.
It's great to be with a world's champion, I imagine,
It's the greatest feeling in the world, Ernie.
And where'd you get that hat, anyway?
This is Campbell's hat, and I stole it from him, and I told him if we win this thing, I want this hat, and he gave it to me.
He's got to buy it back from you right now.
No, he's not going to have this time again. We really
you're getting a little heckling from Bill Freehand. Let's get him up here, and then somebody else can heckle him a little bit. Here's a fellow who sparked the Tigers throughout the year, Bill Freehand. He had a little trouble with the bat right at first, and then he got a couple of hits to help us along. Bill, congratulations on being on the new world champion.
Thank you, Ernie. It's a tremendous thrill. I thought maybe winning the pennant was the biggest thrill in my life, but I think I know this is. It's beautiful. We've come back from behind all year, and we did it again. I never thought we could, but we did, and I don't know, a lot of people must have been praying for us.
Bill, how did you feel about Lolich when he started? Did you think he had his stuff? Did you think he could last?
Well, I started to worry maybe in the middle innings. It looked like he was getting a little tired, but he's got a whole lot of guts. And he just kept on fighting and fighting and fighting. And we finally got some runs off Gibson, and he just got tougher after that.
Well, he didn't have too many strikeouts going for him, but he seemed to be putting the ball where he wanted to, didn't he?
Yeah, he was keeping the ball down low. Basically, he didn't expect him to have super abilities today, but we talked before the game and said, we're going to basically try to keep the ball down, and he did, and he got a guy hit the ball on the ground at somebody, and that's the secret of the game.
Well, thank you, Bill Freehand, and best of luck to you. Now we've got Jim Northrup And, Jim, you figured in the key play of the World Series, I believe, the three-base hit that scored the 2 runs that put the Tigers in the lead. You can see the replay now where Curt Flood comes in, seems to trip and fall. Then the ball's over his head, and the runs come in, and you get into third base. And that was the key play. Did you feel like the ball was going to go a long ways when you hit it?
Well, Ernie, I hit the ball real good. I hit it hard and on a line, and it was a little bit to the left center of Flood, and I didn't know for sure if it'd get over his head because I know he plays deep, but I knew I'd hit it good and it had a chance, and when I see it go over his head, I was the happiest person alive right then. I am right now, too.
That's got to be even a bigger thrill than your Grand Slam home run of yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure is, Ernie. It's the biggest thrill I've ever had, and it's the type of ball club we've had all year. We've been behind before, and we keep coming back. We don't ever give up, and we proved it again today.
Jim, what about the ball that you and Horton converged on in the outfield? It seemed to hit your glove and bounce away. Did you have trouble waving Willie off, or he have trouble waving you off, or what happened on that?
I couldn't hear Willie, and he couldn't hear me. I was yelling all the way, and I happened to pick him up just as I went for the ball, and I didn't want to run over him, so I tried to veer off and still catch the ball and hit in the end of my glove and drop. So it was just one of those things where their crowd is yelling, and you can't hear each other out there. And when I saw Willie, I should have gotten out of the way, but I didn't want to let it drop. It was my fault, and it was an error, and I thought I could get around him and catch the ball anyway, but it doesn't matter now. We won it.
Well, Jim Northrup, when you came to the clubhouse today, did you have the feeling that the Tigers would win this game?
I sure did. Eddie Matthews and I were talking with our wives last night, and I said, Eddie, I got a feeling we're going to win that thing tomorrow. And Eddie says, I do too. He says, I don't get a feeling very often, but he says, I got a feeling we're going to beat them. And I just had a good feeling that we were going to beat these guys, and I'm awfully happy we did.
Well, thank you, Jim. Let's talk to another Jim now, the player representative of the Tigers, the fine catcher, Jim Price.
Thank you, Ernie.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ernie. I just like to express from the members of the team how grateful we are to the people of Detroit and the state of Michigan for supporting us like they did. We feel that they sort of pulled us together, and we maybe helped pull them together a little bit.
Well, I think that's wonderful, and I'm sure that it's true from both sides, Jim.
Thank you, Ernie. All the guys asked me to do this, and we're just glad we won it for them and the people around the country.
Well, it's nice of you to come up here, and we appreciate that comment, and I know that the Tigers have become a fine team all the way, and our congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And now let's go upstairs.
All right, thank you. And Ernie Harwell was talking about coming from behind. The Tigers now become the third team in the history of the World Series to come back from a 3-1 deficit. The Pirates in 1925 came back to win after trailing 3-1. The Yankees were trailing the Braves in 1958, and they came back from 3-1. And when the Tigers were behind 3-0 in the first inning of Game 5, when they looked so bad against the Cardinals in their own ballpark, in fact, a few of their fans were even booing them, Harry, on Sunday in the rain, to come back, match the type of team it was. They won over 40 games during the regular season behind from the 7th inning on.
Well, the two champions hooked up here, and Detroit now is the new champion, Kurt, and they've earned the title. It's been a great series. They have power up and down their lineup, and Lolich, of course, is supreme. I was interested in his winning the Sport Magazine Award for the Outstanding Player of the Year of this series, and he certainly was that, although he wasn't alone. There were many men, Northrup and Kaline, Cash, without too much publicity, and you can't overlook the play of Stanley at shortstop. To me, that's the most remarkable thing in the World Series, that a fellow who's a great defensive center fielder can move into shortstop at the start of a World Series with all that pressure and do the kind of job he did. My hat is certainly off to Stanley and to the Tigers.
All right, Harry, nice job.
Thank you very much.
Good to work with you again, and we'll see you in spring training next year.
I hope so.
All right.
Thank you.
Harry
Bye-bye.
Carey, telecaster of the Cardinals. Incidentally, I think probably the truest statement made before this series, as it turned out, a real prophet, Mayo Smith, who made all the right moves for the series, when they asked him what would happen if the Tigers came down to Game 7 and you had to face Bob Gibson. He said, well, boys, Gibson's a great, great pitcher, but he's still only a human being. Someday he's got to be beat. And as it turned out, the Tigers did finally beat him. That play will be talked about for years. I'd be anxious to talk to Curt Flood to see if he did misjudge the ball in center, or did he, stumbling and catching his spikes, allow Northrup's drive to sail over him in center field. But you'll be hearing about that after the game. So the Tigers win the World Series. Lolich wins his third game of the series. He beats Gibson here today, and the final score was Detroit 4 and St. Louis 1.